I wanted to make a second video on the subject, what's going on in Egypt right now, the revolution. A lot of us are sitting comfortable at home or at work, at school, looking through the YouTube, and we see what's happening, footage from the streets, the protesting, the rioting, the looting, the chaos. And I read a lot of comments, and it's saying, oh, look at those savages, oh, those Arabs, and, whatnot. But obviously these are coming from very ignorant, angry people who are quite far from the truth. But you've got to dig for what's going on. You need to seek the truth to make your life anything. You don't have a life if you don't have truth, in other words. So what's happening when we see this? What's going on when you pull the plug from civilization and it just descends into this chaos and anarchy? Well, I think the deepest implication right here on the grassroots level, in other words, the level of the people, the individuals who are caught in the middle of this power play. They can go out and get angry and want to go against the leader, but what's the primary cause? What is their motivation? And I think that this is what's really going on. It's obviously the economy. It's the fact that either because the currency is devalued, the currency is overblown, there's so many of their dollars put out there. Actually, they call it, it's the Egyptian pound, if I remember correctly. This is worth about 5.8 on the dollar. In other words, it's much less than 20% of the value of a dollar, or the value of American currency in general. So food is what it comes down to. Food. People cannot get the food that they want. Their basic needs are not being met by the money that they have in their pocket. It's just not enough to bring home the bacon. Actually, in the Muslim world, in the majority, I don't believe that they eat bacon. As a matter of fact, I don't either. But that's just a saying. It's just an axiom. If you want to bring home food to the family, or if you are one of the youth over there looking at your future, why you're in college, what you want to do, what your plans are going to be in the next few years, you realize that it's getting harder and harder to do anything other than just pay your rent, get some clothing, and eat enough food day after day. In other words, you're going from paycheck to paycheck. There's nothing left over. In fact, at some point, they know it's not even going to make ends meet. They're not even going to have enough. They're going to have to turn to crime. And this is one of the deepest implications of what's happening. It's a society, a nation, that has descended into anarchy and crime. How does this happen? It doesn't happen overnight. It's a long time coming. It means that the people on the top are keeping all of it. They have the biggest part of the pie, and they're just giving the crumbs to the people. And all the people, the masses, have to fend for themselves. Now, Cairo is not a pretty picture, and many of the outlying cities are not. I'm on the vlog right now. Give me 1 minute. I have a call from one of my children, so you'll have to excuse that interruption. And this kind of trickle down thing never worked. It didn't work with Reaganomics. It was wishful thinking. It was nonsense. It was just a lie to keep them in power. What's going to be good for the people right now is to vent their anger, and that's what's being allowed. And how long will they vent their anger? That's hard to say. It's not going to last forever. Something's going to happen. Enough of them are going to be killed. They're going to get tired. Going out and protesting really doesn't bring food to the table. If you're a looter, though, in the midst of it, you can bring food to the table. So a lot of this is going on at the same time. I want to say that in the past few years, I've been in Egypt. I love the land. I love the history. The people, it's a mixed bag. Like I said, there's a lot of nice, very friendly people. It's a very open culture. It's a very welcoming culture. I made a lot of friends there. Had a lot of good experiences. But I will say this. I didn't say this in my other videos. There is a lot of crime. I'm not wearing rings right now, but in the days that I did, and when I was in Egypt, that wasn't such a wise idea, because my ring was taken one night when I wasn't paying close attention to a newfound group of friends. And I don't want to say anything more. There's thieves in every land, in every nation. I mean, Greece, Brazil, England, United States, Hong Kong, India, you name it, there's thieves. Is it worse in Egypt? Maybe they have above average problem. I encountered it myself, and I will be much more careful. You cannot flaunt wealth, especially in the conditions that they are undergoing. So I want to bring the conclusion back to my main point, is that this is about food. On the people's level, they can't stand it anymore. They want to have food, but they want to have more. I'm not saying that they're starving, because I just don't see that. I don't think there's not many of the developing countries of the world that are starving. There's a few areas, probably in Africa, a few maybe in Asia, such as areas of Bangladesh, and maybe some very impoverished areas of South America, Central America, possibly El Salvador, places such as that do have a starvation problem. I did not see it. I don't believe it's so widespread in Egypt, but that's not why people protest. People in the world today, especially see through YouTube and the TV and hear through the radio, they want things. They want their iPods. They want their, new shades. They want their new lids. They want their new hairstyle. They want the bling bling. They want their new threads. You see, that's what they want. And because they spend everything on food, they're starting to get really annoyed. So I can't say that they're completely justified, because I know it comes out of greed. There's greed throughout. And I'm advocating a culture where we have tribal morality. We go back to the basics, but we keep a technological infrastructure going. I mean, it's actually very complicated. That's not the point of this video. If you want to hear more, you just type in Kaiboa. All my stuff about Kaiboa is there. But we've got to get out of the mess that we're in right now, you see. You either remove yourself from it and seek something better, or you just are going to get thrown into chaos. And more is on the way. Egypt is just the beginning.